Good afternoon. Welcome back to Rising Up with Robbie. We've been away for a while, but we're back. And I have a very special guest today, someone who means a lot to me. My friend and the owner of Gracefully Found Care Home, which is my home, my house. And I've asked Mariann to come talk to us today because she has a totally different perspective on things than I do or anybody I've had in the past shows. So Mariann, welcome. Glad to have you.
Thank you, Robbie. It's an honor to be here with you.
Well, this is an awesome place to be. I had a birthday last Friday, and I've never felt so much love as I did from everyone here. And I thank y'all for that. Mariann, you're not very old. I don't know.
I feel old sometimes, but
yeah, well, I am old. But anyway, what caused you to get into senior care? What was your path with that?
Well, it's almost like it was destined. Like I kind of fell into it in a way. I guess it started with my father. Mm-hmm. My father, when I was 18 years old, my father got into a car accident and he became a quadriplegic. And I was 18 years old when it happened. And I'm the eldest. I have a brother. And my father wasn't given much to live, but he did survive, and I instantly became one of his caretakers. But that's where my experience with caregiving came in. But just for a long time, I think I just gravitated towards seniors. It's where I felt like I connected with seniors. I was never too easily comfortable with running around and playing with children, but when it came to seniors, they've always been like my best friends.
Thank you. We are pretty special people.
Mm-hmm.
I was in gerontology as part of my nursing practice, and I found that I loved it. Mm-hmm. Just for that reason. You can connect with them. Their walking history.
Yeah.
You look at someone like one of our little residents, which, by the way, I'm the baby of the family, and look at one of our little residents, and you think about everything that she's seen and experienced in her life.
Right.
And what a graceful teacher that becomes.
Yes, you learn so much because they've lived a long time from just a different generation, and they've experienced things and learned things, and they just carry so much wisdom. And I think nowadays we lack that connection between generations, and if we just spend time and talking to each other in different generations, how much more could we learn from one another?
That's right.
Yeah.
And the sharing of love.
Yes, absolutely.
Everyone that I've ever met from a geriatric standpoint has been loving. A lot of love in their heart, and they want the love back.
Yeah.
Whereas sometimes in this day and age, people shut down.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of that has to do with the social media.
Yeah.
There's not much face-to-face anymore.
Yeah.
It's done via a camera.
Right. Yeah.
So.
And I think the elderly and seniors, it takes a special kind of heart to love them because they may not be as easily lovable as children. I mean, children can be cuter. I think seniors are cute and adorable. I always say that, but I think children are more easily lovable most of the time, and a lot of times, the elderly or the seniors, they need love too. They crave it, they need it, and so it just takes special kind of people to be able to connect with them.
Well, if you think about it, many times, at least in my experience, I've taken care of individuals whose family is no longer around.
Right.
they don't have the visitors that they need. They don't have the love that they need. And the caregivers, the staff, become their family.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you find as a challenge? By the way, Gracefully Found Care Home is a personal care home. And we have 5 residents.
5 residents.
5 residents. And as I've said before, it's the best place to be. It's an amazing facility, and I was blessed to get in before she got full. So I'm happy. So what do you find as some of the challenges?
I think the main challenge with a personal care home or an assisted living home is that it's 24 hours. It does not end. It is around the clock. A lot of places there's an open time and there's a closed time, but here people's lives are entrusted into your hands, into your care. You came in and you entrusted yourself to be here in our care, and it's 24 hours. There is no rest. And so when you're responsible for that, in a sense, it's a lot to carry. So you really have to have the heart and the passion for it. You don't just, so many people ask me, how do you do it? How do you start it? And I just listen to them, because you can't just go into it. You really have to have the heart and the passion. I think the most challenging thing is that it's 24 hours.
Yeah.
It's ongoing because people's lives are in your hands. And I think the second challenge is, and we've talked about it before, it's just finding really good care.
Oh, yeah.
And that means so much to us here because when they do it, when they take care of you, you can tell if they care, and you can tell if they don't care. And one of the things that we always look for is when we find caregivers is, we look at their heart. So we don't look too much at the paper and the certifications and, the education, because I think that comes with experience, but the main thing that we look for is that, if they have the heart for it, and finding good care. And 24 hours. It's hard. It's challenging.
Yeah, after I was here for maybe about a month and a half, I asked Mariann, what do you look for when you're hiring staff? And the first thing she said was heart. And that's when I knew I was in the right place. And you see it every day, like she said, 24 hours. Every one of her staff have that heart and love. And it's not an easy job that you have. I know that she's called at all hours of the night because I was one of those people that she had to be called on. I think it was about 3 in the morning. But she's there. And she and Peter, her husband, who's also an owner of the house, are always here. They're checking on us, they're checking on the staff, and that to me is also very amazing, because you don't see that much.
We're a community here. We're more than just a care facility, we're more than just a care home. We are a family here, and everybody that comes to us is a part of our community.
Good point. Good point. We are family. I think I mentioned about my birthday. I had a birthday last Friday, and the love here was unlike anything I've ever experienced before. Just giving and caring and loving, and I just can't talk enough about it. It's just amazing to me. Well, Mariann, is there anything else that you'd like to tell the people, our listeners, about you or about the community or Peter? Maybe you have something to say about Peter.
Well, I'd like to share a little bit about the name Gracefully Found. I think Gracefully Found Care Home is what we're called, and a lot of times it's a tongue twister. You know, they say, well, what is your place called? I said, oh, it's Gracefully Found Care Home, and they said, Gracefully what? And you know, the name just kind of came to me one day, and I told Peter about it one time in the car, and you know, but I think there's a beautiful meaning behind being founded by grace. And so, you know, the word grace means unmerited favor, or just, you know, it's love and favor that's given to someone when they didn't earn it, when they didn't really do anything to deserve it. It's just given. And, you know, our vision was that we wanted this place to be so full of grace that every single person that comes into contact in this place would feel loved and that they would feel at home. And it was because, you know, it wasn't by chance, it wasn't by accident. We always say that everybody that comes into contact with us is for a purpose, and it's because they're founded by grace, and we wanted every person to feel that way.
I love that. Yeah. I love that. Yeah, you know, the other thing I wanted to say about Gracefully Found Care Home is they are licensed assisted living. They have a fire system. They have a call system. Everything that an assisted living would have, they have. They provide medication, help us to get our medications. They cook 3 meals a day. Or more. Snacks when you want them.
Parties all the time.
Yeah,
we always find a reason to celebrate.
We do love to party. Yeah. We love to have fun. And we play a hot game of dominoes out there. It becomes very competitive, I would say. Mm-hmm. So it's just an amazing place. Thank you. And I love you and Peter.
We love you very much, and every single person here.
Yeah.
Something I did want to ask you, Robbie, was, you know, I don't know a lot about your experience, but I know that in your professional career as a nurse educator, and you've also done a lot of, I guess, administration on the nursing side in big assisted living facilities.
That's
you know,
right.
Multiple assisted living facilities. So you've seen all kinds of places, big facilities, beautiful, extravagant ones, I'm sure. And then a little humble place like this. You know.
Well, there's nothing wrong with a little humble place like this. In fact, it's preferable.
Yeah.
For me, as an individual, it's heartwarming.
Yeah.
And you miss that in the larger communities.
Right.
Because there's so much to do and so many people to care for. And, you know, we talked about having student nurses come through here.
Yeah.
And we're still in the works with that.
Right.
But like I told the director of the program, the one thing they would learn here that they're not going to learn anywhere else is compassion.
Yes.
And I say they're not going to learn it anywhere else because they go into the hospital environment. It's hectic. The staff are busy. They don't have time to really care. They care, but they don't have time to sit with a resident or sit with a patient and just spend a lot of time with them.
Yeah.
And here you do.
Right. It's more personable.
It is. Yeah. It is. Anything else?
Can you share a little bit about how you found this place?
Yeah, I was actually in a nursing home, been transferred out of the hospital, and of course they told me I was going to be discharged, and I was just sick over worrying about where I was going to go, thinking that I was going to have to probably stay in the nursing home, which was not a wish of mine. They provide good service, but as we all know, it's not the most desirable environment. And I prayed and I prayed and I prayed, Lord, where am I going to go? What's going to happen to me? And my friend, Armand Marker, called me one day and she said I was looking on the internet and I found this place called Gracefully Found. And you need to call them. And I called and you and Peter answered and told me a little bit about the community and told you my needs. And I had a lot of physical medical needs at the time. I had a PICC line. I, of course, have a colostomy. I have a wound vac. What else do I have? I have a Foley catheter. So there was a lot of care involved if and when they decided to take me. So after I talked to Peter and Mariann, I asked them if I could do a virtual tour. And of course they said yes. And as soon as I was finished with the virtual tour, I called my sister Diane and I said, you've got to go see this place. You've got to go. And of course she made arrangements with you pretty quickly after that. Came and met with Peter and Mariann, and she, like I, fell in love with the place. And she said, called me and said, you're right, we've got to get you in there. That's the place for you to be. So it was through grace that I found you.
Right.
We say it was coincidence, but we also say there are no coincidences.
No, it was by grace.
By grace that I found you and I got in before you were full.
Right.
Because you're full now.
We're full now, thank God. I remember when we got the phone call and I was talking with Peter about it, and you know, with all the medical needs, and you know, we were scared.
Oh, I'm sure.
And I said, Peter, I don't know if we could accept this one, you know, but when we thought about it and what we're all about, you know, we're all about giving people chances in their lives, and that's with everyone that comes to us. And there's just, you know, we're all about giving that person a chance to have a home or an opportunity or something. And I said, we got to give Robbie a chance. And
I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
I'm glad you did.
And we're so blessed to have you. It's been a joy.
It worked out well. I mean, the staff have learned so much with me.
Right. She's a nurse educator, so she's taught us a lot. But so we mutually have been helping each other.
We have.
Yeah.
And we're mutually pleased.
Yes.
Well, Mariann, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. I know you've got a hectic schedule, and I appreciate the time that you've given me today. And Peter, our producer, thank you, Peter, for helping us get everything set up. Thank you, guys, and I hope that you come back in the next couple of weeks and listen to us again. I'll always wanting to tell you that if you have any questions, any comments, please write them in the comment section. I will answer them, and usually I will answer them within 24 hours. So please comment. Also, if you would please subscribe to the channel, I would appreciate that as well. We're going to be back in a couple of weeks, and who knows who I'll have on. It might be the governor.
There's
I'm
always
not sure.
a surprise. Yep.
Yeah. So thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you next time. Be safe. Bye-bye.